I only had, do you know what these are? If they're put together. What is that?
Like a brownie.
It's like a brownie. What is that? Do you know?
It's made up in roll stuff.
Like, yeah, Swiss, it's some kind of Swiss Miss roll or something. Is that right? Okay. Well, suppose I had to share this with you, and I cut it to share it into 2 pieces. Which piece would you take, Luke? You would? Oh, isn't that nice? Which one would you take, Logan? Logan said he'd take the big one. Which one would you take? The little one? All right, tell me why you would take the little one.
Because the other one shared it with me.
Because the other person shared it with you, and so you would take the smaller piece and leave the bigger piece for the person that shared.
But there's a way littler person.
Oh, I see. So the littler person gets the bigger piece? That could be a plan. The big person gets the big piece and this one here. Well, do you really think it's fair, or should I have cut it into 2 equal pieces? 2 equal pieces, and then it would have made it easy, wouldn't it? Because you know it's very important not to be greedy. What does greedy mean?
You just want more for yourself.
That's exactly right. You want more for yourself. And look at that, what Logan did. It says greed on it. Greedy. Being greedy means you want more than your share. You want it all, don't you? And you know, I was going to tell a different story, but I was thinking about it a few minutes ago. On my trip, the second place I went was in Chincoteague, where the ponies swim across the channel, and they go to the other side, and they come galloping down the hill, or down the road. And it was, I tried to walk out there near it, but there was marsh and muck, and it was nasty. And I said, no way am I going out there. So the grandchildren, one of them, wasn't very happy about that, but at any rate, you know what, when the horses came through, we could reach over and almost touch them. So we had a great point, a great place to be. But you know what, I saw people being greedy and selfish. And what they did was, they wanted to have the best spot to see those little ponies come across. You know how long it took them to get across? One of them 2 minutes, and the rest of the herd about 7. 7 minutes. And some of them were out there at 1 o'clock in the morning. And it was then 12 o'clock in the afternoon. They've been out there all that time with jellyfish in the water and all these kind of things. But the point was, they were rude to each other. And they were not the people that lived on the island, but the people that came there to see it, the tourists, like Mr. Lawrence and I. But we didn't go out there. But they were pushing each other around and shoving each other around. They were being greedy and selfish with space. And it wasn't. And I thought, you know, that's another example of how ugly greediness and being selfish really is. And in the Bible, Jesus tells a story about a man who had this wonderful farm full of crops. And crops are what we grow. And when it came time to pick all the crops, he had the most magnificent, beautiful barns, huge barns. But his crop was so great that year, he had so much of it, that he could fill all the barns, fill them all up, and he had all this left over. And he was worried about what was left over. Now, he could have shared that. Maybe he could have shared with people that didn't have any money or any food to eat. But you know what? He said, no way, I'm not doing that. I'm going to tear all these beautiful barns down and build bigger ones so I can get every bit of it in my barns. And that's what he did. He tore all those wonderful barns down just so he could have bigger ones and just so he could have every single piece of grain and every bit of the crops for himself. He said, I want to eat, drink, and be merry, and I'm not sharing with anybody.
That's not even fair.
That is not, is it? He wasn't thinking of others at all.
That's not even nice.
No, it's not nice. So we're coming under the example of greedy and being selfish is not very nice, is it? So you know, he was punished for that. God punished him in a way in which he ended up with nothing. He lost everything, including his life. in the end for being so selfish and greedy. So let's remember that when we have extra, that we look around and make sure that everyone else has some and that we can share with them. And even if it means having to have a little bit bigger piece for the other person, it'll make you feel good inside. Okay? Let's bow our heads. Dear God, we thank you for so much for what you do to us. May we always remember to appreciate it and to share with others what we have. Amen. You're going, children.